call the regular meeting to order Monday, January 8th, 2024, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, Peoria, Illinois. Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Ahart,
Present.
trustee Spilling, trustee Hare, trustee Knox,
Present.
trustee McBride.
Present.
Can I get a motion to accept trustee McBride in virtually?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Nays, hearing none, motion approved. Everybody stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item, the reading and receipt of minutes for the regular meeting of December 11th, 2023. Everybody had a chance to review them, look at them, questions, comments on the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve minutes as presented? And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And any nays? Hearing none, motion passed. Next item, the receipt and reading of communications.
Oh, we have them.
Thank you, sir. Report of officers and trustees. None. Report for standing committees. None for you. Good. All right, moving right along, report of the general manager.
Good evening. A few things to touch on. This Wednesday, IDOT will be in town for a compliance review. I think we're ready for that. Got a lot of new staff, so it'll be good exercise for us. We did meet with a couple of FTA staff last month. Sherry and Jamie and I and Bethany were on a conference call with them. They're also going to have some training up in Chicago at the end of February that we're going to attend. It's mainly on financial protocol and procurements. Had a meeting with IDOT. They want to talk to us about a RAISE grant. It's still kind of vague on what they want to do, but it could be with us in Bloomington providing transportation between each other. So they're going to do the grant, and they just want to make sure we were up for the challenge. So I said, yeah, we've been talking about different projects like that, so we'd like to see what they come up with. I also talked to them about our funding, and they haven't made a decision yet on how that's going to go. Sounds like there's a couple other agencies that are in the same situation, so they want to make sure it's fair and equitable to all of us. I will be out next Friday, board retreat for the Bus Coalition, and be returning on the following Tuesday. So that's about all I got. Any questions?
Real quick, when you say that the RAISE grant, is that linking up us and Bloomington Normal? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Try to get services between the two?
Correct.
Would there be any stops between?
There'll be maybe a couple. They're looking at a couple of the small towns, maybe Morton, and then they're trying to figure out where they could get on and off easiest and fast. There'll probably be a rapid public bus transit system. A lot of bigger cities have them. So we've been I had a meeting with the Tri-County at the same time, and we had discussed that, what it would look like. And I guess it's going to depend on the numbers, how many people commute back and forth, how many come here, how many go there. So it'll be interesting to see if it gets anywhere.
Okay, thank you. All right, next item, the new facility update. Beth.
All right, Eastland Glass is continuing installation of exterior framing and floor out on the terraces. A&J is installing conduit at the north exterior wall. That's part of the south building work. RCC completed temp enclosure for the elevator 2. River City is continuing to clean simulator room. The simulators were installed and set up, so they look pretty neat. Hitchcock has tested the fire protection system at admin second floor. A&J looks like they've been continuing dropping lights throughout and roughing can lights at the boardroom. River City continuing again general clean, installing casework countertops throughout and mesh partitions at the mezzanine. We provided just an overall site this week or this month in lieu of videos. As far as budget, so the current phase is 77.73% completed. That's what's billed. The total phase gross billed to date is 33.9 million, and then I will send in application number 32 at the end of the month. So this is the next slide. Is kind of the big update. This is going to be kind of tweaked a little bit in the next month. The big deal is elevators are starting to get installed, but they still have not received their electrical wire and harnesses. So I have that as completion of 2-1, but that's going to be contingent on that. So we are pushing to get that done. We did release some areas for phase 1, or I'm sorry, can't speak today. Admin first floor and maintenance, December 11th. We gave some handover rooms to you guys to start moving in. We're working on second and third, again, contingent on the elevators if the city is going to give us that for ADA. So we're working to get that done. Phase B with the electrical, that increased by 1%. And then phase D with the annex, that's just the footings that were installed, and those are not billed yet. I'm holding on that, and that puts us at 10%. So I'll update this slide accordingly in the next few weeks as I get more information on the elevators. That's kind of a big deal right now is getting this moving forward. But otherwise, everybody, it seems like everyone's happy with what it looks like. If you guys want to set up the site, walk through your one. Any questions? We can easy this one.
Thanks, Beth. All right, next item, the report of the Trends Dev General Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I want to apologize for the lateness of you receiving your report. It's been a very hectic month for a lot of different reasons. But generally speaking, and I just looked at this and I apologize. I did this kind of last minute. That on-time performance is not a correct number. I need to get you a revised number on that. December, unfortunately, was only at 65%, not 72. So I do apologize for that. I will have it updated, a copy sent to Melinda by tomorrow. We did, of course, as usual in December, have a less number of riders. Ridership did decrease. On the performance report, you will see the correct numbers. It was on the service survey that it says 72, but in the performance report, it did show the accurate number of 65. But again, I will still get that updated for you, all of that. We're still having a concern with no-shows, especially when there's bad weather. Not everyone lets us know that they're not going to be available to transport. So that definitely helps us with or doesn't help us with our on-time performance. I sent the full report. You folks generally get 3 pages of report, but I have a full report that goes to Dustin, Shammer, and Nick. That was just sent over on my way over here, quite frankly. So they do have all that information now. And other than that, there hasn't been a lot of anything major changes. We only, unfortunately, were able to have 1 training class in December. There wasn't a lot of folks interested in starting work in December before the holidays. We did get 1 young lady, and she is on the road. She's doing a fantastic job. And we have another gentleman who graduated in December who also is doing a fantastic job. Very, very impressed with them. Outside of that, everything else is the same, is status quo. I wish I had some more incredible stuff to tell you, but December, it usually is kind of a slower month. But hopefully this month will be a lot more interesting. in a good way. And if there's any questions at all I can answer, I'd be more than happy to.
Questions on the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right. Public comments.
We have none.
Thank you. Old business? Moving on to new business. The first item is the resolution 2417 recommendation to exercise option year 2 of the Everside Health Clinic contract. This page.
So before we get started, I think we've got Rick Simonis on the call. We also have Allison Clausen here. She's going to give us some statistics on the other side clinic.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Allison Classen. Many of you, I remember doing this last year around this time. So my goal today is just to kind of talk to you guys about the health center that you guys collaborate with us with, and then give you some statistical information just to kind of show you how your patient population are doing. So just a reminder, Everside does have complete care. That's one thing that we really pride ourselves on, is that our patients can come to the health center and majority of their issues can be handled right then and there. So primary care, chronic condition management, quite a few of your patient population does deem us their primary care provider. We do wellness coaching, on-site labs and testing, referral management, and pharmacy. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. Everside does have national care. So anyone that's an Everside member has access to about 100 care centers across the globe, across the country. And they can use those with the same rules that apply to their home office, which is in East Georgia. So we have 350 health centers across the country. Again, 100 of those are open to anyone. And we're in 140 plus US markets. So we're growing every day, even in, especially in Central Illinois, where our footprint is growing every day. We're always within reach as well. I just like to remind you that we do have virtual appointments. We have a portal and an app where patients are able to look at their personal information, talk to the providers one-on-one. There is no barrier there. They can message the provider directly, request renewals, refills, things like that, and it's all HIPAA compliant. This is what's more specific to you guys. It looks like a lot. What's on the left side, those small squares there, there's 8 of them. That's basically the metrics for our CityLink population. We, at the end of December, had 366 eligible members to attend the health center. For the year of 2023, we did 238 appointments specifically for CityLink employees and members. Our participation rate is a little over 26%. As you can see on the appointment trend there, we did hit a nice record for the month of November for the amount of patients that we saw in that month. I want to give Paige a lot of credit for that because she was very instrumental in making sure that we were able to talk to your members at employee sessions and things like that. I will send this over so you guys can look at it as well. But we had, again, 238 appointments. Our unique patient count, that means how many patients we actually saw one time, 97. Patients that come to us really like us, so you'll see that 2.45 is our completed patient visit. So that means the patients are visiting on an average of 2.45 each a piece. So once we get them in there, they're coming back. We just want to make sure that we continue to get more members to understand what the center has to offer for them. Our top 6 chronic conditions for CityLink is hypertension. So these are specific to your population. This is what we're seeing for your patient population. The highest is high blood pressure, followed by obesity, high cholesterol, anxiety, chronic gastritis, which is like acid reflux, and insomnia. This allows us to be able to narrow down things that might be more specific to your population in terms of marketing, education materials, things like that, and kind of just things to look out when they come in. And then at the bottom there, you'll see this is our high risk screening measures. This is for every member across the Everside spectrum. And those high risk screening measures are blood pressure, BMI, glucose, hemoglobin A1C, it's a diabetic marker, nicotine use, and cholesterol. And it just shows kind of a breakdown of where your population falls. We do have a lot of smokers. That's an area of opportunity that we can educate our patients on. We have patients with very high cholesterol as well. So just some of these things are things that we can basically make it so that we can talk to your patients and make it more accessible for them. Patient testimonials, I just pulled these from our monthly testimonials. We have not had any negatives. We are at 100% on our NPS. NPS is a national promoter score. So that's how likely people are to recommend us to their peers, friends, and family members. Anything over a 70 is considered excellent, and we're at 100. So I just wanted to include some things that people had to say about their visits. We have one that said that she didn't have an appointment, was only dropping information off, was able to get in right on the spot because she had a need, an urgent care need. So we like to be able to accommodate those needs, which you would never see in a fee-for-service world. Here's our providers. And again, we are in the East Peoria location, which is in that little shopping center behind Chick-fil-A. We haven't had any provider turnover. I actually haven't had any at all in my entire region. So our providers are very happy and they very much look forward to taking care of your population. Just a quote, you end up coming to better decisions about your health because you have better relationships with your providers. We hear that a lot from patients. The time that they get to spend with their provider is very beneficial in the decisions that they make for their health. People can call us, and if they have any questions, then they can contact us at any time. So thank you guys for trusting us with your health and your members as well.
Okay, so in an effort to further promote the wellness of our employee population and to reduce the overall healthcare benefit costs, Greater Peoria Mass Transit District is seeking to provide employees with a no-cost employee health center, or the continuation of it. Like Allison mentioned, our employee satisfaction scores or patient satisfaction scores are at 100%. And then we also did internal satisfactory reviews, and they averaged 4.5 out of 5. So that is excellent. So it's recommended that the Board of Trustees of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District award the contract for employee health clinic professional services to Eversight Health for an additional period of 1 year with 3 additional 1 and 1 year options for an annual flat fee of $124,768 plus the cost of lab work and pharmaceutical supplies for its initial term.
Questions for Allison or Paige?
Only, do you know how much we actually paid out for our employees for this service?
Just for this service?
Well, and I'm only asking because I think we provide tremendous benefits. And you said we have 365 employees, and how many? 2-something?
Well, that was 200 visits. I can backtrack real quick. You want to see how many actual patients were visiting?
Yes, yeah. Because I thought the numbers were really good.
30.
Oh, appointments, 238 appointments, but you want to know specifically.
Well, I'm just curious as to how much we are providing as a benefit to our employees. Not so much that I question what you're doing or that. I just, for my own, just like to know how much do we have out of pocket that we actually spend for this particular benefit. Do you know?
Rick, do you have any information you can shed on that? If not, I can definitely get her something tomorrow.
Paige, could you repeat the question? I could only catch part of it.
I was just asking if there is a ballpark amount of money that you can say that CityLink has spent in providing this particular service to our employees.
Did you hear that, Rick?
Yeah, but it still breaks up a little bit. So if I'm understanding the question, you're asking if there's a bar that you're setting or establishing at CityLink for employees and the benefits that you provide. Is that Am I understanding correctly?
Pretty much, yeah. We all know the contract is coming up. So in my back of my mind is that how much are we putting out dollar and cents for the benefits that we are actually providing? You know, I know how much we paid you, but in the big picture, how much are we actually doing dollar per person,
Yeah.
whatever?
So
That
in the
is critical. I
yeah,
was
in the
just
big picture, what was the number for next year, Paige, that kind of ran together also?
Let's see, it was 1,000 or 174,768.
174, yeah, $174,000. So the purpose of this is, you know, our purpose, we recommended this and wholly support it. And the purpose is that if we can get employees engaged in their healthcare, which seems to happen better with direct primary care offices like Everside than the regular doctor's office, then we can reduce healthcare costs. So while you spent or going to spend $174,000, that is the gross cost to you plus drugs and there's one other pathology, I think. But it doesn't tell you then what you saved by your employees using that to see what the true net cost is. We'll have that information in a couple more months, but based on experience from other companies that we do this with, and one is the city of Decatur. It's you can FOIA the information to be able to see this. We know that last year we saved them about $800,000, if I'm not mistaken, as a net savings. In order to do that for CityLink, we have to get better participation, more employees using the clinic. Paige has been very good at promoting that. And it's ticked up significantly in the last few months. If we can keep that trend going, we'll be able to see that at CityLink as well. Not 800,000, your budget's not that high, but you'll see a return on your investment and a savings, overall savings.
That's, I mean, it was more curiosity. And then I know you did ask, so eligibility. So we had 366 eligible lives. We had 113 that ever, interacted with health center. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, when we started this project, we figured it'd be about a 3-year before we start seeing break even or some numbers on others.
And we're on year 2, and we've pretty much doubled our appointments since last year, so it's trending in that direction.
And again, what we saw in Decatur, and again, I'm not speaking out of turn because you can get this data. The third year really goes faster. I mean, it really ramps up because the employees start talking about how nice it is to be able to go to the clinic, how nice the clinic staff is, how they don't have to pay any copays. And then the participation continues to grow. And lo and behold, they're getting healthier in the process.
That's our main goal.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, can I get a motion to approve the resolution 2417?
Second.
Second. More questions, comments? All in favor of approving resolution 2417? Say aye. Aye. Any nays?
Aye.
Do we? Okay, sorry. Roll call vote for that. Apologize.
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Bolt,
Approved.
trustee McBride,
Approve.
trustee Knox approved.
Motion passed. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Next resolution, 2418, recommendation to update the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission personal policy and assignment for the new EEO officer. Page.
So the census policy was last updated. There have been a lot of law changes and a lot of just best practice changes, I think. So this has a few updates to it. Adding verbiage for the Crown Act, affirmative action plan language, removal of gender pronouns like he and she and change to gender neutral terms like they, them, employee. Added language on respecting gender identity and pronouns. Updated the Title V discrimination statement, updated the EEO officer to Director of Human Resources, previously General Manager, and clean up the format. So it's recommended that the Board of Trustees of the Greater Perry Mass Transit District approve the update to the existing policy and grant the appointment as the new EEO officer to myself, Paige Heron, the Director of Human Resources, previously Doug Rollos, General Manager.
Questions, comments? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion?
Second.
And a second. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Paul,
Approved.
trustee McBride,
approve,
trustee Knox, approved.
Motion passed. The next item, employee survey results review.
Yes, so in October, this past October, we conducted an employee survey to understand the health of the organization, assess its ability to function at a level needed to attain strategic goals, and then also to implement improvements to the organization's effectiveness. So the survey was open to every employee. We only had 48 total respondents, so we're only looking at a quarter of our employees. A significant portion of the respondents were from operations, 42%. 22 of them have been employed for more than 5 years. So I think we have a good, at least a good mix of people on here, I guess. So some of the overall trends that we noticed, some employees feel that their opinions are not valued or heard. Some indicate they would like more recognition and appreciation of their hard work and positive contributions. Some employees are uncertain about their potential for growth within the company. They would like to have increased training, see more communication from leadership. Some mentioned more consistency in holding employees accountable for their actions. And also several employees did give positive shout outs to certain directors. So that's great. The survey uncovered opportunities for change, with our primary goals being to rebuild trust, increase employee satisfaction, and build positive working relationships with our teams. The following questions were considered in the development of our action plan in response to this survey. Where are we now? Where do we want to go? What is keeping us from getting there? And how do we need to change in order to get us on the right path to our goals? The leadership team met to strategize about implementing remedial interventions to get us back on track. And here is our plan. So I believe you have this one in front of you. For sake of transparency, I guess we're just going to kind of go through these because one of our biggest goals is going to be communicating with our employees and letting them know that we're here to take action on behalf of their comments. So survey findings and action plan will be shared during the first quarter employee meetings, which is scheduled for the third week in January, I believe. Leadership to host an open forum meeting semi-annually. We've agreed to this in January and July, where all directors attend. The floor is open to employees and they can voice their suggestions and concerns. That is scheduled for January 25th. A new mass communication service went into effect on December 29th, allowing employees to voluntarily opt in to receive text messages for real-time, time-sensitive communications. HR to formulate and begin an employee recognition program. The culture committee actually met about this earlier, well, I guess it was mid last week. And so we've got some ideas rolling there, focusing on consistent and meaningful acknowledgements to employees, developing a more structured system for acknowledging employee efforts and achievement. The goal for that will be to launch it in the second quarter of 2024. Safety and HR will provide suggestion boxes for anonymous submissions. HR is also looking into the creation of an internal intranet or some kind of electronic complaint form. That way, people can submit things anonymously. Management training, there are several topics for training I would like to do this year, not personally, but to get us all trained. There is a DISC training, DEI training, leadership approaches, leveraging different types of power, motivation theories, cultural sensitivity, unconscious bias, etc. That goal is to be complete over the year of 2024. And then we're going to increase leadership visibility. Management has agreed that one leader from each department will ride the bus at least once per month and spend dedicated time engaging with employees and understanding their roles and communicating. We're actually tracking that as well. And then develop a PTO donation program with guidelines that allows employees to donate time to someone who may have an emergent need for time off or isn't eligible, I guess, to have vacation time yet. So hopefully that encourages a sense of community. That launch goal is the third quarter of 2024. And we are going to, the management team agrees to meet regularly to review and discuss progress. So that is going to be once a month that we will meet together and go over this next section. Okay. For our path forward, the first step is to establish, each department will establish a minimum of 2 significant goals for their department, keeping in mind the SMARTER framework, ensuring that they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, evaluated, and reviewed. And then the next step will be setting 2 to 3 key performance indicators or KPIs pertinent to their department's goals. These KPIs will serve as quantifiable metrics to assess progress towards the set objectives. And then the third thing is conducting a SWOT analysis to thoroughly understand the department's internal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That is something that we're going to review as a group quarterly. And then we'll meet monthly to evaluate progress. During these sessions, each director will present updates on their goal achievements, review the status of their KPIs, and if necessary, discuss strategies to realign with their KPI targets. This collaborative approach ensures that all directors are accountable and maintain a trajectory towards continuous improvement and departmental success. Any questions?
I just want to say long overdue and thank you so much. I think you've done an excellent job. Everything that you've covered and touched on are vital things for our organization to improve and get better. I applaud you for your efforts. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Team effort. It's going to be a group effort. We're going to succeed together and we're going to get there. Thank you.
Thanks, Paige. All right, next item, resolution 2419, recommendation to exercise option year 2 with the STL for managed IT and support systems. Nick.
Hello. So the purpose of this summary is to recommend the extension of the second option year with STL for a number of things such as network hosting and an on-site engineer. So the district awarded STL a new contract to provide IT management services such as network hosting, network monitoring, call center support, and an on-site engineer in 2020. They provide services to both this location and the transit center. Executing an option year now would be of great value to the district to keep a company who has been reliable during these busy times. This would be the second of 2 option years. So next year we would go out for bid. And this would run from March 1st of this year to February 28th of next year. The monthly expenses paid to STL usually comes out around $17,000 to $18,000 a month with additional pass-through IT expenses from time to time. So it is recommended that the board authorizes the general manager to execute the second option year of our contract with STL to continue to host our IT network and provide an on-site engineer.
Nick is our on-site.
Chris.
Nick, Chris is. Just in a general question, can we keep STL as our provider, for lack of a better word, and then hire Nick as our employer? I'm looking at you, Chris, as our employee.
It's something I think we'll discuss during our budget planning for this upcoming fiscal year.
Just curious.
It is possible, I suppose, it's something we need to talk about internally.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the resolution 2419?
McBride, I approve.
So, then, second, roll call vote.
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride already approved, trustee Knox.
Motion passed. Final item, the financial report, December 2023, board bills approval.
Good
Sherry.
evening, everyone, and happy new year. Welcome to 2024. We'll go ahead and review the staff summary of the finances. Our total monthly operating expenses for the month came in at 2.2 million, and it represents 5.79% of the fiscal year 2024 annual budget. This percentage is 0.89% less than the monthly projection, so we're doing good there. In terms of vendor spread, looks good, and that's just that looks at how we distribute our business across the vendor base in our community. Vendor normalcy looks good as well. There were no out of the ordinary vendors. Always keep an eye on this one. Just is that it's a measure to ensure the legitimacy of the invoices that we're processing. Transaction normalcy also looks good. Did want to mention that you will note a hike medical invoice, and that was a transaction amount of, I believe, 10,800. Their billings began December, and we received their bills roughly like the 7th of the month each month. So you'll see that going forward. Transaction volume is normal. Just looking over the last few months that I've been here, no spikes in transaction volume. Capital expenditures are sitting at a little over $1 million, coming in at $1,009,645. The total expenditures are comprised of River City and Muller and Muller. And that's all the comments I had, unless you have any questions.
Questions? No. Can I get a motion to approve the financial report for December 2023? Second,
Second,
roll call vote, please.
trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee McBride,
Approve.
trustee Knox approved.
Motion passed. All right, if we don't have anything else, next meeting will be February 17th, 2024. It's same. So that's what I said. 12, the 17th, 12, 2024. Any motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Or adjourn. Thank you.